Hey everybody, welcome to another Origami Wednesday. If you guys saw our Facebook post last week, you saw that another origami enthusiast had a suggestion that we do this very fancy, very pretty flower. She had her own tutorial, which I watched and learned from her. It was a very good tutorial. You're welcome to go and view hers as well. I know sometimes it helps to get a different point of view when you're working on different crafts. I'm going to say that I did it with 5 full sheets of paper, and that got me this big giant flower. And then I cut 2 pieces of paper in quarters, so I did 5 quarter sheets and got the smaller one. The smaller one was actually a little bit easier, okay? Now, admittedly, this was my first one. When I'm making my first one, I usually like to give myself a little bit more wiggle room to kind of see how the details are going to work. This one was a lot easier, not just because I'd done one, but because for some reason the paper wanted to behave a lot better. But Miss Ashley and I were looking at them and we realized that it could be a really neat thing to take these and nest them together and create almost a birthday cake of flowers that you could give to somebody as a gift. All right, see, that would be really cool. So you could use bigger paper, smaller paper, you could use different colors. And what we're going to use right now is two-tone paper. So we're going to see how that looks. I think it's going to be really cool in the end. Now, I've already started because you have to fold 5 pieces. Now, I have 3 of them finished. We're going to set those guys aside for a moment. Because I'm using two-tone paper, I wanted to be sure that I always have the same color facing out, okay? If you're just using regular paper, just use regular paper. It is not that big of a deal. It's okay. There we go. Now you're almost straight. Okay. I know I just made it worse, didn't I? There we go. So I'm going to fold in half lengthwise. Okay. Open it up and I'm going to fold in half lengthwise again. So we're making a rectangle. Now, with the open side facing me, I'm going to fold this edge down to the center crease. Okay? Give that a nice hard crease. Then I'm going to take these 2 flappies and do the mirror or the reverse. So now, instead of having a rectangle, I have either a diamond or a rhombus, or however you want to look at it. And then I'm going to open up my paper. Okay? And if you look, now I have a chevron. So I'm going to turn this. I like to work with this pointing toward the left. That's how my brain works. You can do it pointing toward the right, whatever makes you happy. One of my top corners is going to get folded over. And the other one, we're going to reverse that initial that initial fold. I'm going to fold this guy, make sure it's going to fold down. And then this diagonal crease is going to get reversed as well. So what's going to happen is this guy is going to get folded all up and we're going to make a little bird beak. Hello, bird beak. So one of these, so if you open it up like this, if you hold the 2 pieces together, you got a little cup. I like the little cup. It looks almost like a boat. Okay? I'm going to fold one of these little flappies one way. Okay? And I'm going to fold the other little flappy the other way. So now it really does look like I have a little cup. Okay. Now, this part, as long as you always tuck in the same side, you will not have any problems. If you're not careful and you tuck in one side one way and one side the other, your world's going to fall apart. So don't do that. So I'm going to take my right flap and tuck it down inside my little cup. Okay? And that leaves me with one free flying wing on my triangle. Okay? So let's do that one more time. So I'm going to fold lengthwise. And I'm going to fold lengthwise again. Okay? I'm going to take this fold down to the center crease. And I'm going to take these two open sides and I'm going to fold them up to the center crease. So I have a rhombus. I'm going to open my paper up. Okay. I'm going to fold my top corner, so I'm going to hold it so it's pointing left, because again, that's the way my brain works. I'm going to fold that top left corner down. I'm going to reverse this crease and fold the bottom left corner down. I'm going to make sure this guy is going to fold over in half. Okay, so this way it really would look like an envelope. But then this crease is going to get reversed, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck it in, and I have a little bird beak guy. Okay, I'm going to take one little flappy and fold it this way, and I'm going to take the other little flappy and fold it that way. Then I'm going to take my right hand flap and tuck it down into the little cup that I had just made. So I have a little wing or part of a bird beak on my little triangle. And I'm going to have 5 of them, ultimately. So then we're going to get the paste. I know, last year we never, ever, ever would have used paste. Well, this year we're using it with abandon. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to pick one piece and put paste just a little bit. Enough that it sticks. Enough that I get it on my hands. Okay. I'm going to take that guy, and if I'm looking in here, so there's my little tucked in flap, I'm going to tuck it in right next to it. Okay? So these guys are friends. I'm going to say I did not listen to the sound on the other tutorial. All I did was watch the video and watch her work. But if you look, now I've got 2 little cups that are attached, and each little cup has its own little divider in the middle. Okay? So when I'm looking at this, if I make it a triangle, my little wing is going to fold out, and this is where I'm going to put the paste. Okay? Paste is very dry. Doesn't have a whole lot of water in it, which is good. That's what we want. We want something that's not going to make your paper soggy and that's going to dry pretty quickly. By using the pressure and the heat of your fingers, it's going to help that paste set a little bit more quickly, so it's less likely to come apart when we start working. Okay. So now I've got 3 little cups, each with their own little divider. Pick up my next petal. Take my little triangle flappy. Put a little bit of paste on him. And tuck it down inside. Now every time I do this, I'm very careful to keep it on the outside of that center divider. Okay, I want those center dividers to remain free while I'm working. Okay. And one more guy. We've got our little triangle flappy. Paste. And then tuck him down. They're all friends. They're all happy. And we have ourselves a little triangle wedge. Okay? Hold on to that for a moment. Now we're going to make it into a circle. And we did this a little bit when we were doing this guy. Remember when we worked with this? So it would turn all around? Okay. So same thing. So on this same, I'm going to take my same little flappy. I'm going to put glue on the same side. Okay. I'm going to tuck it in so it glues itself to this wall. And this is the tricky part. This is definitely the tricky part. So then I'm going to squish them. I'm going to squish them that way for a moment. Let that dry, let that set a little bit. Oops, put the cap back on my paste. I believe we're finished with the paste for right now, but we'll see in a moment, okay? So then I'm gonna open it up. And you'll see all those little pockets are now all facing each other, okay? And they all have their little dividers inside. I'm gonna push on the point, and I'm gonna, basically what we're doing is we're flipping it inside out. Ta-da! Now you could leave it like this. This is actually also a very nice little flower, okay? But we're gonna take it one step further. This is gonna be the bottom now. And now we have our star. And very carefully, give yourself time, be patient. I'm gonna fold down this point to nestle right in this crease. And we're gonna go one direction. So I'll take the left side and tuck it down. Now I'm not creasing these, okay? If I crease them, it's not gonna be as full of a flower. Yes, you could crease them if you really wanted to, but I kind of want to give it that nice full feeling, being very open and welcoming, okay? Yeah, it's gonna fold itself, it's gonna give itself a little bit of a crease, that's all right. But I'm not gonna force it. I'm gonna let it sit and just be its own little guy. So you can see we've got all one way. Now I'm gonna go the other way. And it's gonna get folded down too. So you're gonna have 2 points. Here we have one of those days, you know, some days when my hands decide they're not gonna work. Okay. See, that one got a little folded. It's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. There we go. Make it fit a little bit more. So that point just kind of nestles down in the valley. Okay. Look at that. Now, our last thing, and definitely use both hands for this. You can't do it with one hand. You got to start it with both hands. You're going to turn that and then make a nice hard crease right there. Now, I'm not creasing the petal. I'm just kind of turning this one little bit of the corner inside out. So, take it with my thumbnails and do just a little finger press on that point. And that's going to give it a little bit of shape. Okay. We did a flower last year where we really did that a lot on all 4 corners. Okay. And this time we're doing it on 5. So I'm going to go along that center crease, use my thumbnails, turn it inside out, press it with my fingertips, and that gives it a little bit of shape, that gives it a little bit of softness and curve. And with the 2-tone paper, it looks really, really pretty. I wish that my camera was a little truer to shade. But as you can see, we have these 2 little flowers that just look so delicate and so intricate, and yet you did it in just a few minutes. Isn't that awesome? So here is your flower for the day. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.